What's up my friends, how's it going, and welcome back to the 5th episode of our Let's Play series as Kolkhis with your fellow comrade Summary. Let us quickly turn off all of the notifications. And daughter has come of age. We have some characters that has increased in rank. Let's go ahead and give him those abilities. Perfect. And before we hop into the episode, a quick summary of what transpired in the episode prior. And basically in the previous episode, after having consolidated our hold in Armenia and the Caucasus, we pushed westwards along the Black Sea coast, or the southern Black Sea coast, conquering the entirety of Ionia, Paphlagonia, Pontus, Phrygia, Cappadocia. And in the turns between turns, we relocated our armies in our eventual preparation for the invasion of the Seleucids. The Seleucids seem to be quite on the back foot against, of course, the Media Atropatkan. Our situation at the moment is kind of tenable, of course. We have Atropatkan that doesn't have any sort of an agreement with us, so they could potentially declare war against us. The same goes for the Royal Scythians to our north, so we do have a little bit of a, less secured frontier. And we will have to rectify that sooner or later. The Seleucids, meanwhile, are, to our south, and that is the direction in which I'd like to expand, because eventually I'd like to push into Egyptos, conquer Egyptos and Libya, thereby securing our second S-tier economic province before we can, proceed with the other objectives of this campaign. Meanwhile, as far as diplomacy is concerned, we are quite friendly with the Roman sphere of influence. They managed to expand a little bit into Africa, a little bit into mainland Greece. Meanwhile, the Massalians seem to be, having the upper hand as far as Hispania and the Cisalpine regions are concerned. So we have defensive agreements with the both of them. Meanwhile, we have established trade agreements with whoever we can. Even though the Atropatkan and the Scythians are neutral towards us, we are still not entirely friendly with them, so that could be an issue. Maybe we can ask them to join the war against the Scordisi. Perhaps that would help. And they're not interested in it, so we are not going to bother with that. So let's just take a quick look over here. See our economy. Well, we're looking quite decent, making 15,859 denarii per turn. We have about 20,000 in the bank, of course, and that's pretty good. If you take a look at all of our provinces, you can see that Asia is already almost making 16,000 denarii, and that will increase quite significantly once we upgrade all of these buildings in Asia. As far as the characters are concerned, we have a couple of governor generals that are still in the provinces with the research building. For those of you wondering why I'm doing this, is because I'm trying to upgrade their intellectual trait. And you can see this one over here is currently a scholar. Want to get him up to a philosopher, I guess that's the next level. Let me just take a quick look. Yep, philosopher would be the next level, and then considering that he's a mercantilist, we can get that all the way up to economic genius, as is the case with the Hipparchos of Rhodo. If you take a look at him, he's an economic genius, which gives a really good buffs. So that is pretty much what we're trying to do. Of course, I will go ahead and release the spreadsheets which I use, which I have kind of dived into Diviria Impera files to determine the criteria for gaining an upgrade in the intellectual traits. And it's very helpful because then you can actually maximize your growth potential as well as your economic potential with these. As far as food is concerned, we're making a very, very decent amount, especially for the middle game. We're looking at about 81 food. Now, the main objective, of course, of this episode is to be focusing on the Seleucids. Seleucids over here look to be quite solid, so we're just going to move a little bit closer, get a line of sight of what they have. And they have a very solid army over there. Elephant units, main row of pike phalangites. Very, very, very impressed at their army composition over here. That's going to be a very tough battle to fight, but we're not going to wait any further. We're going to try to join the war against the Seleucids. I think the right thing to do is to ask the Ptolemies if they would want to allow us to join a war against them. Let's just try with another faction that might be more inclined in a war against them. Join the war against the Seleucids. Hi, there we go. We can go for a non-aggression, I guess, or maybe a trade. Alright, we'll go for a non-aggression. Hopefully they agree to it. Nope. Okay, so we get to join the war against the Seleucids. Maybe get some payment for it. Okay, we can up the payment. So there we go. We are at war with the Seleucids. Yeah, that's pretty good. They're friendly with us. So meanwhile, in Cappadocia and Galatia, we have, you know, Carthaginian or Caucasian as the majority culture. We kind of have the same going for us in, of course, Samosata or Syria, to be specific. So, yeah, we're basically going to go ahead and attack the Seleucids over here. Meanwhile, I wonder if the spy can sort of sabotage the supplies of this army. Hasn't succeeded, so that is a bit of a problem. We might have to deal with this army over here. Not entirely sure how I'd go about doing that. Or maybe I could just buy myself some time by moving a couple of these armies downwards. There we go. Let's try to attack. This might push them off the mark. There. Perfect. And I don't think this army can attack any of our settlements. So for now, we just want to push them off the mark. And we can go ahead, attack Antiochia, the capital of the Seleucid Empire. We can move our other character a little bit closer. And maybe we can just simply auto-resolve this one, because it's going to be fairly easy auto-resolve. Yep, 90%, that's good. And we're going to peacefully occupy it, because it is Caucasian culture. It should allow us to replenish in the end turn. And we're going to take the other army and deploy him into the port, giving us a little bit of movement range. Meanwhile, we can kind of upgrade these settlements over here. We can go for that one, and we can dismantle that building. Perfect. Right. Meanwhile, up here in the north in Ankara, we want to move down south as quickly as possible. Go for Iconian. Pretty good auto-resolve once again, so we can just simply auto-resolve this one. Peacefully occupy the settlement of Iconian. And we can go ahead, dismantle this building. We'll definitely want to get something that improves our population classes over here. And I think the way to go about it is to build a temple and then to build a outpost over there. However, that being said, we're almost done with this turn. We're just going to take a very quick look at politics. We are, you know, beloved. We have about 73% influence, so that's really good. It will allow our transitioning into an empire to be that much more easier. Apart from that, all of our political parties fairly loyal towards us. Our characters leveling up quite nicely. We have a massive political party over here, but we can continue to improve certain characters. So let's just go ahead and do that. We can improve the zeal of that character, as well as we want to improve her authority. So let's do that. And we want to send this character on a vacation, improve her cunning. She has 585 gravitas, so that's really good in comparison to this character. But these characters are a little bit older, so we want to kind of deplete their gravitas, because, you know, they will be dying off a lot sooner. So definitely that's one of the things we'd want to do. Apart from that, we can go ahead and marry off this character. That's great. Meanwhile, this character over here is a daughter that's come of age. Let's take a quick look at some of the unmarried characters. Perhaps we can use them in some political actions to gain some gravitas, and then we can go ahead and marry them off in the next turn. However, that being said, we have a couple of characters up here in the north. We have Stratos 5 Ionius, we have Stratos 4 Pontu, and we have Stratos 6 Cappadocia. We will try to recruit them up, build up their armies. That's pretty much what I like to do. Let's take a quick look and see the population classes. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and begin with this army. We're gonna start by recruiting up 4 of these units, and we can recruit the 4 units over here, and we can recruit them up. Or actually, you know what, I am going to begin the recruitment in the next turn, and I'll explain why in a moment, once we are in the next turn. However, with that, we're looking quite good, so we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Welcome to the next turn. Political intrigue. Okay. Region available for acquisition. That's fantastic. So we will acquire side from the Ptolemaic faction. Character trait dependent and virtuous. So no real improvement there. Population surplus in Caucasus. That is okay. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and now move this character who should have replenished. We can go ahead, attack Mazaka. Should be once again a decent auto-resolve. Let's just take that. 87%. It's not the best, but it is Caucasian culture and we can peacefully occupy it. So we can go ahead, dismantle this. Go ahead, dismantle that building as well. Start improving all of these buildings. And we can build a Caucasian outpost, I guess, over here. Fantastic. So we will have consolidated the entirety of Phrygia, Cappadocia by the end turn when we acquire the province offside of, from the Ptolemaic faction. Our next target, we just want to start moving our spies a little bit deeper, try to get a line of sight of what's going on over here. It's very important because this army can potentially march up northwards towards our Samosata, or even towards Tushpa, so we gotta be a little bit careful of that. But what we can absolutely do is maybe we will replenish in this turn, and in the next turn we can try to move towards Thapsos. Not entirely sure. Let's actually move our spy a little bit closer. Can we get a line of sight onto Thapsos? Okay, they do have an army over there. So I'm not entirely keen to attack the settlement without a significant advantage. However, we can take a quick look at all of our provinces. We want to go ahead, not dismantle this building. We're gonna build up a sanitation building over there. Make sure we... Samosata is fairly well defended. So we're looking quite good. We can go ahead and build that over there. And we have about enough funds to perform other actions in this turn, like recruiting up an army. So now this is where I like to recruit up my army. So we have 4 of the Western Georgian infantry because they come from the lowest class population. So that is what we want to do first. We want to make sure we have enough of these in our recruitment chain. And then we want to focus on a little bit of the higher classed units, like we can go for the cavalry as well as the Svan warriors. There we go. We're gonna do the same on this side. We go for the cavalry and then we can go for the Svan warriors in the next turn. Now the way this kind of helps out is, as you can see, I've recruited, maybe let's recruit a couple of the Svan warriors. You can see that we've run out of population class. It's a little bit of a cheese tactic, but basically it considers the Eugenes at -8, but because we haven't recruited these units yet, we will get the availability in the next turn, which is exactly what we want to do in order to recruit up some units, which is basically slight cheese, but I'm okay with it, especially to share it with you guys, so that you guys can understand how I go about implementing that. However, with that, there's nothing much else left to do in this turn. We can't really engage in politics, with the exception, of course, of marrying off that character, because we do not have enough money. So we definitely want to make sure that we preserve some money, and we're starting to run out a little bit on our income because it's winter, but sooner or later we will be able to boost up our economy quite significantly in about 4 to 6 turns. And yeah, then we should be in a pretty solid position to sustain 5 full stacks. However, with that, let us just take a quick look at our diplomacy before we go ahead and end the turn. We're going to see if a trade agreement is desired. Unfortunately, it isn't. The Scythians are starting to be a little bit more hostile towards us. They might actually accept a trade agreement with us. We'll have to see how that pans out. However, for now, we can go ahead, end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Actually, come to think of it, I think we should go ahead and attack Tarsos. We have a decent amount of population over there. So let's actually go ahead and attack the settlement. The auto-resolve doesn't look good, but what we can do over here is we can move up this army close enough to support. Go ahead, get that perfect auto-resolve, 95%. That is absolutely amazing. Peacefully occupy the settlement. And then we can move this army back towards Antiochia in order to replenish even further. We can go ahead, upgrade the character over there. Meanwhile, take a look at the settlements over here. This should... Okay, this is in the wrong province, so it's not gonna technically allow us. These guys are Balika Indo-Iranian Heavy Cavalry. Alright. Let's just go ahead and dismantle this building, dismantle that building as well. And yeah, that's pretty good for now. And we can slowly start to spec up the province of Syria. We still have a little bit of population class over here, so replenishment should be fine. What this means is that our 3 armies over here can start to move deeper into the Hellenic landscape. However, with that, we can go ahead, end the turn. And actually, I don't think we have the money. Right, we don't have the money to acquire that settlement, so we're gonna have to kind of stop our recruitment over here and start doing so in the next turn. So let's just wait for that, and yeah, we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Alright, welcome to the next turn. We have acquired the region of Side. Several characters have increased, and we're going to take a quick look at all of our notifications factors. Trait increase, so yeah, so still waiting on our characters to improve their traits, unfortunately. Meanwhile, this Seleucid army still cannot reach any of our settlements, but it's fairly close, so a little bit concerned about that. What we are going to do is probably could attack over there. And speaking of which, let's take a quick look at Side. We're looking quite good. We can go ahead, dismantle that building, repurpose that one over there, build an ironsmith and another outpost. So that's looking good for now. I think maybe the play is to march both of our armies down south. This army out over here can move towards Samosata technically. So let's actually do that just in order to mirror the movement of this army over here. And what we are going to do is we are going to build up a temple and an outpost. Excellent. And we are going to go ahead and attack here with both of our armies once more. Let's just go ahead. The auto-resolve doesn't look good, but we can supplement with this additional army, and then we should be about 90%. As far as auto-resolve is concerned. And there we go, 90%, perfect. We can peacefully occupy because it's Caucasian in culture. We have a decent amount of population to replenish off. And yeah, it looks like the Seleucids are significantly on the back foot. In a very quick succession, we managed to conquer the entirety of Phrygia, Kai Cappadocia, Cilicia, Kai Syria. So things are looking quite good. We are slowly going to start pushing towards Mesopotamia. And speaking of Mesopotamia, we want to bring our dignitary towards that province to help with the cultural conversion a fair bit, so that when we do eventually conquer the province, we will have a Caucasian as a dominant culture over there. Meanwhile, our characters have leveled up, so let's just go ahead, give him some of those abilities. Perfect. Even a champion over here has leveled up, so we can potentially just improve those abilities. Fantastic. And we have a little bit of funds in the bank, but I'm not looking to use them right now because of course I want to wait for the next turn so that we can start recruiting up a much bigger army. We have about a couple of turns. We can actually use our money to upgrade this building. We have about 4 to 5 turns in order to boost our economy quite significantly. However, with that, I am going to go ahead and end this turn. I could engage in some politics, but I don't think that's the play because, of course, we want to preserve our money as best we can. Instead, we are going to be focusing on getting some food, I guess. We can get some food in Asia. There we go. Should help with our influence a fair bit. More importantly, give this character some gravitas so that she can get married off. We're going to take a quick look at a faction leader. He cannot educate anyone. And with that, we're more or less done with this turn. So we can go ahead, end this turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Alright, welcome to the next turn. We have character trait reports, philosophic, that's great. Hold on. Oh, mature, okay, so that's not so great, I guess. It's just character has aged. So nothing much to look there. We have a very good weak Palmyra. Meanwhile, this army cannot reach Syria, so I'm not too concerned. We're just going to stay put exactly where we are. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to try to attack Palmyra. It's a very good auto-resolve. Let's just simply auto-resolve this one. This time we can go ahead and sack as well as loot the settlement. So we're going to do exactly that because it's not Caucasian in culture. We're going to take a quick look and see we have about 20% as far as the Caucasian culture is concerned. We can turn off the taxation over there. And we can go ahead and repair all of the buildings and dismantle all of the buildings we do not need. We're going to move our spy a little bit into the heartlands over here of Mesopotamia. Meanwhile, the other character can move towards Dura. Dura has a pretty weak garrison, so we can go ahead attack. Might be another easy auto-resolve, and there we go, 94%. That is perfect. We can sack, and we can loot this settlement as well. And there we go. Alright, perfect. With that, we can just improve some of the buildings, perhaps. We can repair this one, dismantle that one, and repair that building as well. So perfect. We look to be having quite decent in our treasury, so that's quite good. And that means we can go ahead and start recruiting up units. Let's begin with the Western Georgian infantry, and then we want to focus on the Western Georgian infantry in the other army, and we're going to do the same for this third army over here. There we go. Next up, we want to focus on the level 1 or population class 1 units. So there we go, and we're going to do the same over here, population class 1 units. 3, excellent. We just run out of that population class. Then we want to focus on population class 1 units or 2 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Calibes as well. So that's perfect. We're gonna try to do the same over here. Get a couple of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're gonna try to focus the remaining of our funds to build up building up this army. So let's just go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. So you can see we have run out of first class population. We have just about 44 available. But in the next turn, we should be able to queue up the Svan warriors as well as the remaining Carthaginian cavalry, or Greek colonist cavalry rather. However, let's take a quick look at some of the other things. Notifications, okay. Character personality, strategic mastermind. There you... Okay, we have this guy over here, strategic mastermind. That's fair enough. Nothing else. Character personality report. Commander. Alright. Fair enough. With that, we are ready to go ahead and end the turn. But before that, we're going to take a quick look at our characters. We have this character over here. We can use her to improve the public order in Palmyra. That should give us the ability to marry her off in the next turn. Dignitary over here. We can start moving this dignitary a little. We can just retain it over here because we want to eventually start converting the province of Yehuda as well. So let's just move our dignitary a little bit closer towards the border of Yehuda. Meanwhile, the other dignitary we have can keep moving towards Mesopotamia. With that, we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to finally launch our invasion into Mesopotamia and wipe the Seleucids from the map. Alright, welcome to the next turn, and we can just turn off the notifications. Perfect. And do we have any personality reports? We do not, so characters still not have leveled up. We have a decent amount in our treasury. We're gonna first use it to build up the remainder of this army. We need another Greek colonist cavalry, and we can get all of our archers as well. So in about 9 turns, we'll have 3 new armies, which is fantastic. We don't have to focus on recruiting up any armies for now. We can focus on, of course, improving our buildings over here. So let's actually go ahead and do that. Want to convert the province as well. And for now, what we can focus on is just moving our units back for some replenishment, much needed replenishment. And then we want to push towards Edessa. Eventually, we want to push towards Hatra as well. And we're going to keep moving our dignitary towards Edessa. There we go. Managed to reach there. Go ahead and deploy over there. Help with the cultural conversion. And a quick look over here, you can see that we will be able to culturally convert this province relatively quickly in about 10 turns. So that's looking good. We can take a look at some of the other areas of the map over here and start building up some buildings as well over there. And yeah, we need a temple over here. Fantastic. With that, we are more or less done with this turn, so we can go ahead and end the turn once more, and I'll see you all in the future when we are ready to attack the Seleucids in Mesopotamia. Alright, welcome to a couple of turns into the future. Let's quickly turn off all of our notifications. Real quick, character personality trait report. Heteros. I'm guessing this character over here has been promoted to the max, which is amazing. That's great. And apart from that, no other personality trait reports, no other improvements. So we're still waiting on improving our economy by sending our last 2 governor generals to Ephesus and Pergamon respectively. But as you can see, we're still making a decent amount per turn, 15,000 denarii, that too considering that we are in the process of fully building up our armies. We almost have a 20 stack over there. Over here we also are very close to having a 20 stack, and then the final army will be recruited over there. Meanwhile, down south over here, we have managed to conquer Hatra from the Seleucids, so it's fairly easy conquest. But the idea now is to push into the very last settlement of the Seleucids, wipe them out from the campaign map. For that, we are going to go ahead attack this settlement over here. The auto-resolve will be pretty bad, but we are going to hope for the best. So let's just move this way, attack there. That army should retreat closer to our other army. That's perfect. Positioning, we can take a look and see the auto-resolve is decent right now, but we have another army in the region that can attack. Perhaps we go for this army over here first to get a very good auto-resolve against them, take them out of the equation. We can enslave up all the captives, and over here we have a decent auto-resolve of 89%. Wonderful. We can loot the settlement as well as sack the settlement just to get that little bit of extra money and to help promote our slave economy. And with the fall of the Seleucids, we have finally reached Imperium level 5. We have also leveled up a character over here, so let's just go ahead, give him some abilities, And we even have upgraded our army traditions. The remaining seems to be fine. Over here we have some army traditions as well, so we can focus on that, and a couple of those, as well as we have leveled up this general to the max. So what we can do is take a quick look to see over here. This character is almost completely leveled up, so we just quickly move our champion to train that army, hopefully level up pretty quickly, and once he does that, then we can start sending our champions up to the north. Speaking of champions and spies, we can recruit a couple of new champions, so we are going to go ahead and do that. We can go ahead and give the army that will complete the earliest a champion, and we really haven't been lucky as far as champions are concerned in this campaign, but that's nothing too concerning. Instead, what we are going to do is focus on improving some of the provinces over here. We have quite a lot of money to do so, so we are going to go ahead and do that. We can even get some farms over here. Go ahead, dismantle this building. We can convert Mesopotamia into a food province, and I think the play over here is to you know, get another dignitary. We can get a couple more dignitaries, and growth pattern, public order, growth pattern, public order. I think this is the dignitary we want to have, and we're going to move them all the way towards Seleucia and try to gain the province diplomatically through the Timbe trade region submod from the Atropatkan. The Atropatkan seem to be very, very massive. They're going to make for a very interesting opponent in the east. We do have some agreements with them at the moment, which means we can focus on you know, the Ptolemaic faction. They have quite a lot of allies. So what we want to do is we just want to disable the trade agreement. Now, a big problem with the Ptolemies is always that they have a really good amount of navies. As you can see, they have quite a lot of navies. One navy over there, another massive I'm sorry, that's a land-based army. So we will eventually need to start building up a navy as well, and I think maybe we can do so in Rhodos. But for now, let's just focus on improving outside, I think is the play. We have quite a bit of money, so let's actually go ahead and do that. Improve all of those buildings over there. We can even upgrade that building, and we have a decent amount of population inside, so we can actually go ahead and build up an army. We're going to take a look and see which is the best. We have a tactician over here, is fairly young, decent stats. We are going to go ahead and get him real quick. Just go for those two abilities, and his name is Fraverti, so let's just try to find him. There we go. Where are you? Fraverti, go ahead, raise a fleet, give him the Hexeres, deploy him in the port over there, and maybe we can recruit up some Hexeres. Doesn't seem likely, so we'll have to improve over here. Okay, so if we get this, then we can build some Hexeres, and in order to build that, we will need to research that. So yeah, let's just get this guy into the port, and eventually we will start building up a navy as well in order to deal with the Ptolemaic faction. However, with that, we are more or less done with this turn. We are going to start moving our units or our spies a little bit into the Ptolemaic world, get a line of sight of what's going on over there. We can even recruit another spy, so let's actually go ahead, recruit this one over here in Palmyra. Speaking of Palmyra, we have a pretty decent amount of culture. We are 30, which means in about 3 turns or 4 turns, we should have the dominant culture over there. And what that means is that we can start moving our dignitaries down to the south, help with the cultural conversion in these other provinces, in order to, in order to make our invasion of the Ptolemaic Kingdom that much more easier. Meanwhile, a quick look at the cultures over here. Kartli is increasing steadily. We have quite a lot of influence from from our character, but I think the play is to keep moving down south, since eventually we will be able to convert this province. What's more is that we have another dignitary in the region that we have just recently recruited, can help with the cultural conversion of this province. However, with that, we're going to go ahead and end this turn, and I will see you all in the future. The future is going to look something like this. We're a pretty sizable nation. We have grown quite massively. We're much bigger than the Black Sea Empire. We're a combination actually of the Black Sea Empire and the Artesiad Empire at the same time. So that's pretty good. Very, very strong position we have over here. Meanwhile, in terms of faction strength, we can take a look at the factions that we have. Stronger than the RDAI, stronger than most of the factions, as you can see. We are even stronger than the Carthaginians for now. The Scythians, we are marginally stronger to them. Sparta, Tulingi, Parthia. Okay, Parthia is a little bit strong, but we're still stronger than them. It's quite even between us and the Ptolemaic Kingdom. It's quite even almost with us, with the Massalia, the Mauryans as well. Atropatcan, we're looking about even. And with Rome, of course, they are going to be stronger than us. So yeah, I'd say we're still in the top 5. In fact, we're slowly but surely increasing as far as that's concerned. What's more is that I want to help improve the public order in the turns, between turns. So I'm going to start stabilizing and consolidating my hold over Mesopotamia, as well as Kolkhis, Syria over here, Palmyra. And at the same time, improve the public order as much as I possibly can. And once that is achieved, we can go ahead, because we have reached Imperium level 5, which means we can go ahead and convert into an empire. However, with that, gonna go ahead and this turn, and I will see you all in the future. Alright, welcome to several turns into the future. We have blackmail, we're gonna counter the agents trapped. Several notifications, let's just select them, turn them off. Population surplus in Haeston as well as Syria, that's good. We can build a barracks over here. Go ahead, dismantle this building, and we can replace that with an outpost. Meanwhile, a quick look at Haeston as well. It's leveled up, which is great, which means we can potentially go for another one of these buildings, the local agora. Economy is looking great. 25,000 denarii per turn, 80,000 in the bank, 31 food. As you can see, Asia is starting to make 40,000 denarii. We have about 6 full armies. We have 5 down here in the southern regions. We have Stratus 3 Armenius moving towards, of course, Jerusalem. And then we have another one of them. We're going to move them, Stratus 5 Ionius, also towards Jerusalem. And we have a couple of armies, 3 more armies up here. We have Stratus 2 Cartevelius, Stratus 1 Kolkhis, as well as Stratus 6 Cappadocius. Meanwhile, all the way up in the north, we have Stratus 4 Pontu, because the Ptolemaic faction has captured Antheia and Odessos, which gives us a good opportunity to capture these settlements for ourselves, get a foothold in the European mainland. And all of our characters have leveled up in as far as their intellectual trait is concerned. We have yet another economic genius over here as Hipparchus of Ephesus. And of course, we have the industrial magnate from the satrapies of Asia. So that is really good. Meanwhile, we're starting to level up some other governor generals. Keep in mind, this guy is an agriculturalist, which unlocks the ability to get rural scholar. It does give a little bit of agricultural bonus, but in terms of the other bonuses like empire maintenance, cultural conversion, growth per turn, and so forth, it is equal to all of the others. So it's another very good trait to look out for. And meanwhile, all the way in Caucasus, we have 2 new armies, not yet built up, but we are trying to level up the generals over there. As far as technology is concerned, we're in the process of researching the consensual contracts. Of course, the main purpose of pausing this far ahead into the future is, of course, we are in a position to apply the empire, government rank. Our politics seems to be fine. We're going to secure loyalty of all parties just to offset that civil war possibility. So let's just go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead. Empire, this is going to reduce our public order by 30 and loyalty for all parties by 30, decaying by 3 per turn. So let's just go ahead. And as such, we have gone and converted into an empire, which means we will have 2 additional edicts. Let's get the bread and games over there. We can even get the bread and games in Galatia and Cappadocia. Quick look at our politics. You can see that there is a chance of a civil war. What we can do, however, is send this character to improve the public order in Bithynia at Pontus. So yeah, for the most part, we're looking quite good. Not a lot of public order decline. And one of the tricks I am using over here is to kind of, keep... we can just do this as well, just in order to help with the public order, as well as, of course, the loyalty of the party. But one of the tricks I am using, of course, is by, selecting this character, trying to improve the public order, which means she will be on a mission. When she comes back, I marry her, and once I marry her, I try to get a very good character over there with the traits so that he can be a future governor general. That being said, we have a champion over here. We are in the process of building up a fleet. Stolos 1, Kolkhis, as you can see. Unfortunately, a little bit of a glitch, even though side does have quite a significant Katoikoi. We don't have really much access to that. So what I'm going to do, it's actually drawing it out from Rhodos, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to raise an army over here. And what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and recruit as many Katoikoi as we possibly can. So let's just go ahead and do that. And this unit over here, the Chalybes Pikemen, they have 256 men each. We can recruit about 7 in this turn, so that's great. After that, we are going to move them as quickly as possible towards Rhodos and try our level best to recruit up some more fleet. So meanwhile, we have the Ionian Sea over here, I'm guessing, or still considered the Carpathian, Aegean. What are we looking at? Carpathian, all right. So we have quite a lot of Carpathian Sea over here. So we are going to try to move a little bit closer to Antiochia. We can stop recruiting up these units. Just go ahead and deploy him over here. And then we can go ahead and get these guys. Excellent. Meanwhile, over here, our fleet, we can see, can't really recruit anymore. And with that, we are more or less done with this turn. But we can educate a character, so let's take a quick look. We have a bastard over there. Quite a lot of characters coming of age. Our political party is growing steadily, but we need to educate as many of them as we possibly can. So that is the goal. We're just going to send this character to improve the food in that province. Depleted quite a bit of our treasury, but things are looking quite good. However, with that, we're going to go ahead, end the turn, and I will see you all in the future. The idea is to build up the fleet. And once the fleet is kind of built up significantly, we can go ahead and contest the Egyptian or the Eastern Mediterranean with the Ptolemies. Alright, welcome to a couple of turns into the future. Let's just quick off all of our notifications. We can take a look at our characters that have leveled up. Let's go for it. Excellent. And this dignitary over here is also leveled up, so we can go ahead, give him some abilities. Meanwhile, the rest seems to be fine. As far as public order is concerned, we are looking quite good. What we can do is marry off this character, hopefully get a good character. This guy is a tactician, so we can retain him. He could be a good military leader, but I'm not interested in that. We are just going to simply go ahead, assassinate him. And I guess for this character over here, we have to get some gravitas gaining abilities so that she can marry a lot more often. That being said, we want to also improve our characters with praise, as well as doing a favor, so let's go ahead and do that. We also want to send some of our characters on a vacation to improve her cunning, and everything seems to be fine with that. Meanwhile, the situation globally, so to speak, is that the Romans are kind of like in a deadlock situation. They haven't really expanded all that much. You know, they're kind of stabilized over there. The Massalians are locked in a war with the Lusitanians and the Vetones all the way in the west. Meanwhile, you know, Egyptos is allied with Sparta and Athena, and I don't want to go to war with them because I have agreements with them and that will tank my rating. So instead, what I want to do is declare war on them individually, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Meanwhile, the Atropatkan, they're kind of pacified. We have kind of pacified even the easternmost states like the Mauryaans, the Parthians, as well as the Asagartans, and even the Medians are at war with Saba and the Arabian factions. So that is something we definitely need to watch out for, and maybe we can capitalize on that situation, because Arabia is a really bad place to expand because it got such a lot of places to travel. What that means is a lot of the Median armies will be stuck in this region while we can just take the more lucrative areas in the Persian heartlands. Meanwhile, we have spies all the way down over here, and we're just going to try to move them around so as to get some line of sight. We were just doing a bit of exploring with our spies. I think eventually we want to build another fleet that can discover all of the factions in the northwestern Mediterranean and the you know, the Germanic Sea, so that we can establish some more trade agreements. However, very important thing that's transpired over here is that we have Caucasian as the majority culture in Yehuda, so we are going to keep moving our dignitaries into Egyptos, try to culturally convert the province of Egyptos. Let's just move a little bit closer so that we can get a line of sight of what's going on. We can deploy that dignitary over there. This dignitary can also move in that direction because eventually we'll also have to convert Libya. Now, since we have converted this and we have moved our dignitaries out, they can revert back to Hellenic, but I am not going to let that happen. Instead, what I'm going to do is kind of move my army into the sea over there. Meanwhile, we have several of the other armies over here, which we can move down southwards to attack over here as well. But we can't directly attack because, of course, as I told you, the Ptolemaics have trade agreements with these couple of factions, but they are at war with Asagartha, so we can actually ask Asagartha to join the war against the Ptolemaics. They will actually pay us quite well, and we can't get any other agreements with them, so we're just gonna do it this way. There you go, we are at war with the Ptolemaic faction. We're gonna go have a look at our Roman allies. Let's just quickly open that one up again, select Rome, maybe join war against the Ptolemies. Join war against the Ptolemaic faction. Let's see how that's going. Alright, they're not gonna join that war, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But what we can do now is we can go ahead and attack the settlement of Salamis. There we go. It's not a very good auto-resolve, but we are going to just military train over here. Fantastic. And we can move all of our armies towards Tyros as well. Let's go ahead and just do that. It's a pretty good auto-resolve, so I'm not looking... Maybe we want to move, you know, even more armies as possible into that area just to help with that auto-resolve even more. And... let's go ahead and auto-resolve this one. It's going to be very, very high auto-resolve. We can just peacefully occupy the settlement. Meanwhile, we can move a little bit up ahead with the other couple of armies. And we can attack Jerusalem in the next turn. We're going to go ahead, select that settlement, turn off the taxation over there. And we are going to just simply dismantle all of the buildings that we do not need. That being said, the influence is looking pretty good for us, so yeah, we no longer are in threat of losing our culture over here, so that's great. The fleet over here can't really do much. We have an Egyptian fleet over there. Maybe we can scare him off. There we go. Okay, that's fine. They should not be able to reinforce over here. That's great. Quick look to see what is the population class over here. We got a pretty decent population class, so I am gonna just go ahead and auto-resolve this one once more, and we are gonna peacefully occupy. We're gonna take several losses, but we can easily replenish in the end turns because we have quite a lot of population going on over there. So let's just go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, the fleet over here, we had a problem, as I mentioned, and that problem is that, of course, you know, we don't have enough population class to deal with it. We're going to move this fleet into the ocean, try to disband it. Hopefully, it will credit to Rhodos, I'm hoping, not side. Okay, there we go. I think it has moved to Rhodos, so we're just going to move our fleet back towards side. And in the next turn, hopefully we will be able to recruit up some units. If that's not the case, then we just kind of lost some of those men to the sea, which is rather unfortunate. But we have a character that's leveled up, but that's great. We can go for the replenishment rate as well as some of the other abilities. Maybe we can get the food, the public order, that's great. And we can even move our faction air all the way down into the port over here. Just get to push deeper into Egyptos. That being said, we can take a quick look at all of our provinces. It's looking fine. We can upgrade several settlements. Let's just go ahead and upgrade them as best as we can. We can even upgrade a couple of these settlements. I think that is going to be the play. Just want to upgrade as much as possible. We don't really care about money for now because we are doing quite well as far as that's concerned. What we want to do is start building up so that we can preserve everything that we have. Speaking of our economy, you can see it's gotten even more insane in Asia. It's 49,000 denarii per turn. So that is absolutely phenomenal. We are losing a little bit of public order over here. We are going to move our dignitary towards Anthea. We can finally even attack Anthea. It's going to be an easy auto-resolve. Ptolemies just recently conquered this settlement. Let's just go ahead, auto-resolve this one. And we are going to sack as well as loot the settlement. Get a little bit more income. And we have a pretty sizable Ptolemaic stack over there. So that is a little bit dangerous. We are going to go ahead and select some more abilities over here. Get the replenishment rate. Let's take a quick look at that unit. We can promote him, so let's just go ahead and do that. And we can get that. Perfect. Now the real problem over here is this Ptolemaic army. We're not entirely sure if they might attack us. So we have to be a little bit careful. Olbia is at war with Rome. We have no interest. Wow, the Scythians have expanded pretty massively. You can see why they are quite close to us in terms of, you know, the balance of power. We can take a look at the Ptolemaic faction balance of power. They are slightly declining now because we've taken several of their settlements. We are going to deploy into the port over here. Hope for the best. Hope that these guys do not attack us. Let's just repair all of the buildings we do not need. Dismantle all of the other buildings. We can retain this one over here. And with that, we are ready to go ahead and end the turn. And I will see you all in the next turn when we are ready to take over Jerusalem. And of course, we are slowly going to try to culturally convert the province of Egyptos as well and launch our invasion into the Egyptian heartland. Alright, welcome to the next turn. Character personality. Okay, that's good. Household expands. Faction joins our enemies. So we are at war with Sparta. Not too concerned about that. As far as replenishment is concerned, we're looking completely replenished over here, which means we can effectively push towards Jerusalem. Let's just go ahead and do that. Push with several of the armies. And there we go. Couple of the armies. Maybe we can even push with 3. Let's take a look at the auto-resolve. 87%. We're going to maintain that siege. move up with our faction leader as well. Then we are going to auto-resolve this. We should have a much better auto-resolve. There we go, 92%. Peacefully occupy the settlement once more, and there we have it. We have the control of the entirety of Yehuda. So in this episode, we've made quite significant gains. We're kind of looking like the Eastern Roman Empire over here. Not gonna lie, we have Phrygia, Cappadocia, Cilicia, Caesarea, Coele, Syria, the northern 2 provinces of Mesopotamia. We even conquered the entirety of Judea. So it's looking really good so far in this episode. Meanwhile, we can take our spy, we can move him all the way down south, get a line of sight of what's happening in Egyptos proper. We're going to move our dignitary towards Egyptos and just deploy him over there. We are going to be waiting to see what we can exactly do over here, dismantle all of the buildings we do not require, and start rebuilding as fast as we can. There we go, that's perfect. We've taken care of Yehuda. Let's take a look at some of the other provinces. We have quite a bit of treasury, so we can go ahead and build up these provinces. Meanwhile, we can build a temple over there to help with that cultural conversion, and that's looking good. So the only thing left is, of course, to upgrade the buildings in Syria. Let's go ahead and do as many as we possibly can. That should eat up a sizable chunk of our economy. A quick look to see, of course, if we have any potential rebellions. We do not, but what we can do is we can send this character yet on another mission to improve her gravitas, as well as marry off once again. What we really want to do is to try to get as many generals in order to level their intellectual personalities. Quick look at Rhodos. Yes, we have the Katoic class enabled over there, so we are going to go ahead and start recruiting up some more of our fleet. And once we have a full fleet, then we should be in a pretty powerful position. Meanwhile, all the way up north in Thrace, we have a full stack of Egyptians over there, but we are quite significantly replenished, so I do not think that they will attack us, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. In another couple of turns, we will have fully replenished over here, after which we can push towards Odessos. It's got a pretty sizable garrison. It's not going to be easy to take out that settlement, but the plan over here is to get a decent enough fleet and try to besiege that settlement, hopefully fight a naval battle, get them out of commission with that methodology. Let's just go ahead and get these couple of abilities. Several of the other characters have leveled up. We can go ahead and give that character all 3 of those abilities, and of course we have other characters that have leveled up. We can go ahead and give them all 3 of those abilities as well. And with that, we are done with this turn. We can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future once again. We are going to wait, stabilize, consolidate a little bit over here, clean up the oceans, and then we are going to go ahead and push into Egyptos. That should give us about enough time for our dignitaries to culturally convert these provinces. Remember, Egyptos is going to be an economic province, so we want to peacefully occupy the province as best as we can so that we can retain the population of that province. However, with that being said, we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future. Alright, welcome to a couple of turns into the future. Gonna turn off all of the notifications. Just a rundown of what happened in the turns. Between the turns, we're slowly stabilizing Yehuda, of course, and we are now in a position to push deeper into Egyptos. Unfortunately, they have quite a lot of armies, and quite a lot of good armies at that. But our fleet is almost ready. What we are going to try to do is we are just going to try to attack over here the port settlement. Hopefully they should attack us. They have 2 fleets over there. It's going to be a massive naval battle, and we are going to try to win it as best as we can. Unfortunately, over here, a lot of troops, lot of troops. So yeah, it's not going to be easy to break the deadlock over there, but the Ptolemaic faction is losing its presence in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. They have attacked the settlement of Rhodos twice, but I auto-resolved it. As you can see over here, we managed to push them away. Meanwhile, they even decided to attack Anthea, but once again, with the auto-resolve, was able to keep them at bay. And now what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and attack Odessos in turn. Once again, not a very favorable auto-resolve, but we can go ahead auto-resolve this one. We can sack as well as loot the settlement. And there we go. Sack and loot, that's amazing. Taking quite a bit of casualties, but we don't care. We can deploy into the port once again. And the character has kind of leveled up, so we can go ahead, give him Keepers of the Peace, Stalwart Hearts Tradition, repair up all the buildings, dismantle all the ones we do not require. And technology wise, we just completed the consensual contracts. We could go for the field surgery next. I think that might be the play. But let's take a quick look at Caucasus. Yeah, I think we can go for the field surgery next. That should help with the cultural conversion, making it a lot easier. Or we could conversely just go for the monumental architecture, complete a construction tree. That will be super helpful, especially economy-wise. But economy-wise, we're looking quite solid. I think cultural conversion-wise, also looking quite solid. So we don't need to do much. We could also focus on improving our military buildings. Okay, so we have completed this, so that's not an issue. I guess we want to go for the field surgery just to improve our cultural conversion. That being said, we are more or less done with this turn. We're going to take a quick look over here. Can we go ahead and divorce that character? We can, so that's perfect. We can send this character once again to improve the public order. Political loyalty is a little bit low, so we can go ahead, secure that loyalty. Make sure we bump that up as best as we can. We can even send this character to maybe gather some food. We don't really need food, but we definitely need the loyalty. And are we taxing this province? We are. We should not be taxing it so that our food is even greater. Now, considering our food is even greater, I think what we want to do is definitely go for this, because we can potentially upgrade all of the buildings over here, therefore making Asia even more powerful in terms of its economic output. Right now we're looking at 64,000 denarii, guys, so it's absolutely insane. We have a dignitary over here that's helping with the cultural conversion of the province. We're currently at 7% Caucasian, growing at 1.7% a turn. Meanwhile, in Mesopotamia, it's not going to be easy to culturally convert because we do have a lot of Persian influence, but we are trying to culturally convert. Meanwhile, our dignitary is positioned over here. Hopefully we will be able to take Seleucia. A quick look to see our characters over here. Can we sort of kind of discover the territory? Okay, it's that desert territory, I guess. Alright, so there we go. We have more or less discovered that as well. We're gonna just slowly try to fill in the map over here, get a better line of sight, and then we're going to start discovering up in the north. Meanwhile, our spy over here is deployed. Our spy over here is deployed. That's great. Our governors are deployed in both, so that is also great. And we want to... I really don't know how to break this deadlock over here. We're going to be running out of supplies soon enough, but I think Palmyra should be able to supply us. Yep, they should be able to, so that's good for now. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the garrison in Salamis. Still pretty weak. We're going to have to stay here for a long time. And then we will have a fourth army ready and available to go. Currently, the Egyptians have about 4 armies over there. If we are able to take out those 4 armies, then we will be in a significant momentum advantage, and then we can push forward. Meanwhile, all the way up in Thracia, we're going to start slowly moving this army down to the south to assist against our war against the Egyptians. A quick look at our characters. Can we educate anyone? We do have one character over there that we can educate. We have several characters, and the education is pretty high or expensive because I kind of spammed that ability. One of the characters has also come of age, which means we can attempt to marry her off. Hopefully she gets another good character. He is cultured, so that's not really that great. We can go ahead and just adopt this character. Since we have adopted him, we should be able to even marry him in the future. And yeah, apart from that, we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Can we get anyone from the Aspired nobility? No, we cannot, so definitely don't want to hire any politicians. Let's just go ahead, end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to launch our invasion into Egyptos. Of course, I might have to pause and, resume the episode because I have a feeling that the Ptolemies might attack us with both of their fleets. It's going to be a massive naval battle, and after that naval battle, we're going to go back, replenish, and rebuild our navy in the process, and then move back down. But the idea over here to besiege Alexandria is to kind of try to entice these armies to kind of support Alexandria, and fighting an army at sea is definitely very, very, very easy. Alright, welcome to the end turn. As you can see, the auto-resolve is absolutely ghastly. We have, army, a full stack over here, a couple of navies, so we're going to have to fight this battle. I'm going to quick save over here. I'm going to hop into the battle, and I will see you all in the battle. I am going to be fighting a replay in this battle and recording as a replay, and we'll see you all once the battle is done. Alright, welcome to the naval battle just outside the settlement of Alexandria. You can see the lighthouse of Alexandria over there in the horizon. And of course we have set up our fleet in order to engage the main bulk force of the enemy transports. It's not going to be a very difficult battle for us because, transport ships do not stand a chance against a fully fitted out naval force. However, we do have some Egyptian navies coming in as reinforcements from Alexandria, so we'll have to deal with them. Apart from that, all the way back in the distance, we can see we have yet another naval force. So it's not going to be an entirely easy battle. Of course, the auto-resolve was very heavily against us, but in reality, we should be able to pull it off, even though the balance of power shows heavily against us. So let's just go ahead and pause over here, take a look and see. What we're going to try to do is very quickly readjust our navy as soon as I start to realize that we're having these reinforcement kind of, coming in. As you can see right now, we're trying to reposition our second row of naval ships in order to engage this fleet over here. That being said, this major fleet over here is also kind of like a little bit undecided on what they're going to do, and that's because of the reinforcements. The AI tends to reposition their entire force based on the reinforcements, and once they realize that we are in close proximity, they will line up to face us. However, over here the main problem is quickly arranging our fleet so that we can take care of this major incoming Ptolemaic fleet. However, back onto the main front lines, you can see that we have started to issue out our orders of attack, start to hit each and every single individual ship. There we go, that's the first one, that is the second taken down, and the third. And then back onto this side, you can see it's pretty intense battle going on, and a lot of bunched up ships, which is not what we want. But we're going to try our best to kind of break as many ships as we possibly can. You can see that single ram is only causing 97 damage, which is rather unfortunate for us. We would like to see 100 damage so that we're able to break out those ships as quickly as possible. Now, realizing that the enemy has transport ships, we do have the opportunity where we can pull back and re-engage them. And that's exactly what we're doing. And since a lot of these ships are clustered, we are getting locked into boarding action over here. So that is a little bit unfortunate, but wherever we are finding the space, we're trying to exploit it, try to, ram some ships and break them down. There we go. We see another naval vessel down. And honestly, in battles like this, taking down the naval ships that you see over here, they are way more important than the transport fleets, because the transport fleets, you can outmaneuver them quite easily and take them out later on in the battle, but the naval vessels are going to be the major problem. That being said, we're slowly clearing up this cluster over here. You can see it's still pretty chaotic in terms of organization. The main admiral is still in the game, taken only 51 hull damage, so that is a little bit of a problem. Meanwhile, we have a lot of ships over here that we are not currently engaging with, but very soon we'll have to engage. And I've noticed that some of the enemy fleets have started to come into position, so it is time to turn around and face them, or they're going to be able to ram us from the rear. So this is exactly what we don't want. And over here we can see now we're finally starting to engage. These are lighter missile ships, so a single ram should be able to completely demolish them. A little bit of my FPS is tanking because of this VFX effects from, of course, MI's mod. And yeah, there we go. We have another ship taken out of commission, which is really great. We have some ships that are behind our front lines, but they're not going to be able to do much to our much more heavily equipped ships. We're slowly trying to turn around to reface the enemy, and then we're going to try to charge again. Right now we can see that they have 2 clusters of naval vessels. We have one over here and the other over here. They're nothing significant. They're mostly missile ships, which means they have very low HP, but of course the advantage to them is that there's just so many in number that they can easily overwhelm a ship. So it's of utmost importance that we try to reduce their numbers, we try to break them apart, so that we get a pretty significant advantage in, then simply having to engage the transport fleets. Of course, in the middle of it all, you can see one heavily, built ship in the middle. That's a melee ship. We do have a couple more of these lightly missiled ships that we can easily deal with. But once again, it's the swarming that we have to be extra careful about. And now that we're almost done with this, we've taken care of the enemy general, we're moving in our fleet to keep attacking some more of the enemy fleets. And there we go, we have it. They have managed to ram that ship and completely take it out of the action. We're going to keep pushing forward for that advantage. Go ahead, ram another ship over there. There we go, big damage. We're almost done wiping out this part of the battlefield, this reinforcements, but still in the main front line we can see there's a lot of commotion, and we are starting to lose some of our own ships in the battle. So we're taking our first casualties, of course, but we are still not backing out. We still have a significant advantage, as you can see. The balance of power again heavily shifting in favor of the Ptolemaics, but we should be able to turn it around as long as we get rid of all their naval vessels, which is what we are prioritizing at the moment. And once we're able to do that, then we can turn the situation around. Meanwhile, I'm not waiting entirely for them to kind of finish up the naval vessels. I am also slowly trying to shift the balance of power in my favor by ramming out any transport ships. You can see I've cleared quite a significant amount of transport ships. That is exactly what we're doing. Unfortunately, over here, as you can see, the swarm tactic in full action. Our ship is completely surrounded, and of course we're losing that melee engagement because we are overwhelmed numerically. Lastly but not least, we're trying to attack this last ship over here, and there we have it. We have cleared our right flank. We're pushing deep into the enemy. We're trying to encircle, try to ram. This is 88 damage. This will be the big one over here. As you can see, the big shift in the balance of power by taking out the main naval vessel of the enemy reinforcement fleet. Meanwhile, our general is also getting heavily involved in the fighting, trying to take out as many ships as we possibly can. The enemy is left with very few ships. Every sunken ship is now going to shift the balance of power heavily in our favor. So that is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit as many ships as we possibly can. Once we're able to shift the balance of power considerably in our favor, then we should force the enemy to lose morale. There you have it. They are losing morale, and they should break very soon, as you can see. There we go. We have won the battle. It has come at a cost, but we are going to continue the battle for another 2 minutes, basically hunting down any of the enemy ships, making sure that they do not escape from the battle, and make sure all of these guys perish, so that we have a clear, significant naval advantage against Alexandria, against the Ptolemies. And that is exactly what we're about to achieve through the remainder of this battle. However, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the battle. You do not need to see this last part, and I'll see you all back in the campaign. And with that, we have a close victory, but it was pretty decisive if you were to ask me. And that is because, of course, as you can see the stats, we lost 932 men in exchange for killing 7,396 of their men. So a really positive result over there. We've almost wiped out an entire army. It's a close victory. We lost about 4 ships, but we wiped out the Ptolemaic fleet. all of their fleets, including the garrison fleet of Alexandria, and we have almost wiped out one army. So we're going to go ahead and enslave the captives. That's a huge amount of captives. And yeah, things are looking quite good as far as that is concerned. We have another 3 armies in the Sinai Peninsula. That is the main problem, but I think we will be able to pull through in the next turn against the Ptolemies. It will be interesting to see if these guys try to... The Spartans are declaring war against us. Unfortunately, they are going to be attacking that settlement, which is rather unfortunate. We're going to, you know, auto-resolve this one. We're going to lose that one. And it seems like we're going to have the Spartans wiped out. If they conquer that settlement, doesn't really matter, because now they are at war with the Romans. It's a very, very suicidal move on the Spartans. They had earlier declared war against me, joining the Ptolemaics, you know, against the, in the war against me. But this time around, they had to attack me a little bit more directly, which means... enter war on the side of ally, which means the Romans are now in a war against them, which means Sparta will be wiped out of the map, fairly kind of protecting us as well. A very quick look into the next turn. Several of characters have leveled up, son has come of age, settlement has been lost unfortunately. Let's take a quick look to see what's going on over here. So these Spartans, of course, we are replenishing slowly but certainly, but in a couple of turns we should be able to retaliate for the Spartan aggression. I guess in the very next turn we should be able to do that. Kind of move our dignitary a little bit closer, since you know, can't really deploy him just yet. You get a line of sight, see some of the units. Okay, that's fine. We can take a quick look at all of our settlements, try to upgrade all of the buildings we possibly can. And there you have it, that's perfect. The Egyptians have not yet attacked us once again. So yeah, the real concern of course over here is these 3 armies. But they do not have a fleet, which means we can kind of push into. And of course the Thorax reforms have also triggered, so... that is good news. That means we can just move out all of our armies. Let's just move all 3 of them, get them close to each other, and even get our faction leader over there. So there we go, faction leader in position. Fantastic. These guys, they cannot really reach Jerusalem, I'm pretty certain of it, so we're gonna move all the way down over here, get a numerical advantage so that they dare not attack us, and we are going to move all the way into the port of Tyros, and in the next turn we can garrison the settlement of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem's pretty under garrisoned right now. And okay, we're gonna retain and maintain this siege. We have leveled up a little bit, so we can get the ramming bonus, which is the most important thing we'd like to do. Take a look at some of the other characters. All of it looks good, which means we have made the breakthrough into Egyptos, and very soon we will be able to get our first foothold in Egyptos. That being said, a character who has come of age, and let's take a quick look. He is a strategist, which means he can be a good general, so I guess that's great. We can try marrying off this character once again. Hopefully she gets another mercantilist. Fantastic. And we can also send her just to improve her gravitas. Meanwhile, do we have anything that decreases gravitas? We have one over here, so let's just go ahead and get that to keep decreasing this character's gravitas. We can go ahead, start educating some characters, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, we want to focus on the eldest child, and there we go. Perfect. With that, we are more or less done with this turn, so we can go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to, you know, to attack the settlement of Alexandria. Alright, welcome to the next turn. Character has returned from mission. Let's take a look at all of our notifications. Household expands. Okay, fantastic. Have these characters kind of improved their intellectual traits? I think they're a bit too young. Not entirely sure. No, this character should be able to improve his intellectual traits. Let's just go ahead and promote him. Meanwhile, this character we can send once again to get some more gravitas. And yeah, that's good. And we want to educate a character as well, so let's just go ahead and do that. Beginning with, of course, the eldest character of a lineage. There we go. Perfect. And now we have all 4 armies over here ready to attack Alexandria. We are going to go ahead, march up with 1 army. It's a pretty decent auto-resolve, so let's just go ahead auto-resolve that. Meanwhile, the Ptolemaics have moved a little bit closer towards Jerusalem. They're looking to cut us off. We can just, you know, deploy an army in the walled settlements over there. Should make it a little bit easier to deal with the Ptolemies. It's not going to be easy. Of course, they have a couple of armies in the region, so definitely it's going to be, you know, difficult to deal with that. But what we're going to do, we're going to move both of our armies over here, 2 armies over there, and another 2 armies are going to keep moving down south. This is the point at which we can kind of split up into our you know, parts of attack. We are going to you know what, we can actually just go ahead and attack the settlement. Once again, a simple auto resolve, 91%, that's great. We can sack. Oops, that was a big mistake. I needed to just simply occupy the settlement in order to preserve the population. We've lost quite a bit of population over there with sacking 26,000. Oh, that was a huge mistake. In any case, we're going to move, keep attacking this army, maybe wipe it out. Should have left that, so that's another mistake, because you know, that does help with the momentum advantage. Let's keep moving up our fleet all the way towards side. Take a look at what we have over here. We can turn off the taxation real quick. We have a couple of these guys in Alexandria. Meanwhile, you know, this army can go into the port in order to replenish. The other army, on the other hand, can stay put. And we want this ability and this. And we can even get some army traditions. Perfect. Let's just go ahead, repair all of the buildings and dismantle the ones we do not require. We can start to move our spy a little bit down, get a line of sight of what's going on in the southernmost parts of the Nile, and can take a quick look at some of the other characters as well. We have got a army or naval traditions over there. Spy has leveled up, so we can get some abilities as well. And with that, we are more or less done with the turn, but we're just very quickly going to check all our building slots. Fantastic. Building slots are looking fine. And I almost forgot the Spartans had attacked us, so we will have to deal with them. Let's take a look over here. We have replenished a fair bit. In the next turn, we are definitely going to attack the Spartans. And the Romans are at war with the Scythians, which means it's a very good time to attack the Scythians. So in preparation of that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start hiring up some units, of course. Let us begin with 4 of the Georgian infantry, 4 of these guys as well. We can now get, you know, these cataphract type units, so let's actually go ahead and do that. But before we do that, get 4 of these guys, 4 of those guys. We can even upgrade the characters over here. Fantastic. And get that. And we can get 1, 2, 3. Oops. Definitely do not want to get those guys. We need the spearmen, so that's 4 spearmen over there. We need another 4 spearmen over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can get these guys. So we get 3 of those cavalry. 3 of this cavalry as well. Get a couple of horse archers. And yep, I think that's the play. Get a couple of these horse archers as well. And then in the next turn, we can kind of, you know, build up the remainder of the army. So yes, all in all, things are looking good. Fantastic. I think with that, we are ready to go ahead and end the turn. This character over here, yes, he needs a bit more gravitas in order to marry up. We can just send this character to improve the public order in Egyptos. That's really good, plus 80 public order. However, with that, we are ready to end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when or in the next turn when we are ready to push deeper into Egyptos. Alright, welcome to the next turn. Let's turn off all the notifications. Trait, egoistic, duelist. Alright, so not much in terms of traits. Character is leveled up. Fleet has been destroyed. Garrison fleet. That was basically the fleet of Odysseus. Odysseus, what are you looking at? Okay, we're pretty weak. So what we're going to do is just going to attack the Spartans like this, because they attacked us in the end turn. We're going to enslave up all the captives, move up, attack the settlement as well. Let's just go for it. And once again, we can just sack and we can loot. We get a bunch more slaves, deploy ourselves in the port once more, start repairing all of the buildings. And the character has leveled up, so that's great. So we can get that ability, that, and that. Fantastic. And 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. We can go ahead and now deploy our dignitary. We can move him all the way close over there and go ahead and deploy him. Fantastic. So we've taken care of the Spartans, and now the Romans should take care of the rest, which is amazing. We can take a look at all of our buildings once more, especially focusing on Egyptos. We want to make it into an economic province eventually, so let's just go ahead and do that. Alright. Fantastic. Okay, so we're looking quite good over there. Meanwhile, as far as cultural conversion is concerned, we have 18% over here. We're going to hit that 20% mark. We have a couple of armies down south over here. We can just send both of them in order to attack the settlement, get a very good auto-resolve, 92%. I kind of like that. We're going to peacefully occupy this time. Make sure we do, because of course we want to retain as much of the population class. Don't have a lot of population class, surprisingly. And meanwhile, this army is taking more damage, so we're going to put this army into the port so that it can replenish even further. There we go. And that's looking good. That's looking good. Fantastic. I'm pretty happy with that. We are almost in the process of conquering the entirety of Egyptos. The main point of concern, of course, are these 3 armies over here that could potentially attack Jerusalem. We are heavily outnumbered, so we really need to move these armies down south. Speaking of armies, we can go ahead and recruit a couple of Swan warriors. That's definitely going to be helpful. And we want to do the same over here. Get one of these guys and a couple of Swan warriors. There we go. So these 2 armies are ready to go in about 4 turns, which means we can, in about 4 turns, begin our invasion of the royal Scythians. Since the Romans are at war with them, that should help us out a bit. They have quite a lot of armies in the region. They have kind of consolidated and grown their position both in Africa and in Eastern Europe, especially in the Balkans and of course south of the Danube, which means they will push into Dacia very soon, which kind of puts the Scythians on the back foot. By the looks of it, the Scythians are kind of having their easternmost province as Samandar, so we can just quickly attack these provinces and cut them off, and then we can try to gain control of Sarmatia as well from them. The Katiaroi are also at war, or Katiari also at war with the Romans, so we can perhaps consolidate the entirety of Sarmatia. However, with that, I think it is time to go ahead and end the turn. But before we do that, we quick see if we can divorce a character. We need a lot more gravitas, so let's just go ahead and start improving to get that gravitas. And yep, meanwhile this character can also improve the public order in another province, try to get that gravitas up and running. We also want to educate some characters, make sure we're constantly doing that. We can start with the eldest character over there. We can repeat the action, but as you can see, it's gotten exponentially more expensive. So we have 1, 2, 3 characters over here that we need to educate, and 1, 2, so 5 characters in total. We'll slowly educate them every single turn. However, that being said, I think it is time to once again just deploy our dignitaries to help with the cultural conversion of Egyptos. We want to culturally convert as quickly as possible, try to get rid of the Hellenic culture, so that our future occupation as well as our economic potential in Egyptos increases all the more. Speaking of economic potential, you can see that Asia is doing massively well. That is exactly what we'd like to see in this campaign. However, with that, I'm going to go ahead, end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to continue our push into Egyptos. Welcome to the future. A couple of turns into the future. Daughter has come of age, son has come of age. Political party is growing quite big. Let's take a look. Do we have any trait notifications? Nope. So we're going to go ahead and try to level up this character as well. Go for the rightful sovereign and the capable bureaucrat. Fantastic. And armies is still recruiting. We have another couple of turns before we have another 2 full stacks. All the way down south in Egyptos, we can see that, we are almost done fully replenishing over here. We had gone ahead and attacked Paratonian as well. So let's just go ahead and get a barracks over there, because we want to build new, new troops, and we have done so in this region. We have gotten the new cavalry as well as the horse archers, which is what I want. That combination, I really like that combination. And let's take a quick look at all of our buildings. They look pretty solid for the most part. We can go ahead and upgrade these couple of buildings. We can even upgrade this one over there. We want to retain that, I guess, or yeah, I guess we want to convert that, and we can dismantle these couple of buildings. Fantastic. We can even upgrade the temples. And now, while we could upgrade this building, we're just going to hold off a little bit, because we want to make sure that we have enough funds. They are pretty expensive, 13,000 denarii each, which means in about 5 or 6 clicks we will deplete our entire treasury. That's something I'm not entirely eager to do. But for now, let's just try very quickly. We can try to attack this army. Should be an easy auto resolve, and enslave up all the captives, go back into the port in order to replenish. And I think the play over here is to stop this recruitment, start moving this fleet closer towards this Egyptian fleet, and try to wipe it out in the turns to come. Meanwhile, we have a couple of armies over here. We can just go ahead and start attacking, but we are going to wait a little bit for some replenishment, and once that happens, then we can go ahead and attack as well. So it looks like the Egyptians are on the back foot. They still have a couple of armies over here in this region, so things can be quite dangerous. Let's take a look at the supplies over here. So yep, in about the next turn the supplies will run out, so they will take some attrition if they hang around in Jerusalem and do not decide to engage us, so that's great. Apart from that, we can take a quick look at our characters once again. This guy has come of age. He's an agriculturist. Fantastic. We have a female character over here as well. Perhaps we can get her to kind of, improve herself over there. We have another character over here. Let's take a quick look at all of our other characters. Yes, we can go ahead and improve the authority over there, as well as the zeal. And we can even educate a character. We can even send this female character on a vacation to improve her cunning. Let's just go ahead, select. Alright. Yeah, I think this guy is the place. We have quite a lot of kids that we can educate, so we have to try to catch up with them. That being said, we can take a look at our influence. It's looking pretty good. We're on the borderline, but for the most part looking very, very good. Yeah, with that, I think we're done once again with this turn. So I am going to go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to kind of, push deeper into Libya, as well as Ogila, capture the settlements, start moving and trying to conquer Memphis as well. The main idea over here is to wipe out this fleet over here. We can use this army to attack Memphis. We can use this army to attack Ammonium. and then we can just push westwards and capture Ogilla. Both of our cultural conversion dignitaries are in Egyptos, trying to assist with that cultural conversion, and then we are going to move towards Libya as well. Libya, the cultural conversion is going to be a little bit slow because we do not have dignitaries over there. I could assign one of the dignitaries to culturally convert that province, but I want to quickly culturally convert Egyptos. So with that, let's just go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Alright, welcome to the next turn. We have an option to intimidate opposition. We're going to refuse. Let's take a quick look at all of our notifications. Just so many notifications: character, personality, egoistical, household expands. That's great. Alright, characters have increased in rank, beginning with our dignitaries. Let's just go ahead, try to improve their stats. And here we have another dignitary. Can go ahead and improve her stats. We have a couple of champions, of course, as well, who have leveled up. This guy has reached his full potential. That's great. We have another champion over here. We can go ahead, give this, get a couple of that. Perfect. So now we can potentially attack the next settlement of Diospolis. We're going to stay in the port with that army, move with the other army, go ahead, attack over here. Simple auto-resolve. We're going to auto-resolve that one and just peacefully occupy the settlement of Diospolis. Meanwhile, Mios Hormos should have some things unlocked over here. We are going to be focusing on the industrial output. I do believe we have industry over here. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else that can support our industry, I don't think, but we can focus on the Temple of Demeter because it does give that cultural, I'm sorry, the cultural income, so that's definitely great. Meanwhile, we have this army over here that we're going to attack via the sea. It's going to move a little bit, but it's not going to be able to get away too far. We're going to sink that army and slave up all the captives, try to move into a position where we don't take attrition. There we go. And now we can move ahead, move down south, attack, auto-resolve once again. We can sack and loot this settlement. There we go, perfect. And with that we have conquered Ammonium. Let's go ahead and repair up all the buildings. And we're going to do the same for Alexandria. So let's just go ahead, attack Alexandria. Very good auto-resolve. Let's just auto-resolve it. Peacefully occupy the settlement. Fantastic. We are now in control of Memphis. We can just dismantle that. And yeah, we will be making quite a lot of money now because we have two of the best S-tier economic provinces. Meanwhile, the Ptolemies are pretty much just, reduced to a one province faction, and the idea over here is that these guys, they should be taking some attrition because they are running out of supplies. Foraging for food, supplies should be negative. Now we still have some supplies in Jerusalem. Yep. So take about a couple of turns for them to deplete their supplies. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to eventually march up this army back up north towards Baratonian, towards Alexandria, eastwards to kind of protect Jerusalem. And we're going to move this army westwards across Ammonium all the way to Ogilla. And that should give us about enough time to have the supply issues kick in. And with the supply issues kicked in, what that means is that these guys will be taking a lot of attrition. Let's take a quick look at all of our provinces, see what buildings we can work on. Seems like all of the buildings are pretty okay for now, so yep, pretty happy with that. Oh, we want to upgrade that as well. Fantastic. So with that, I'm happy. We're going to take a look at politics real quick. We need to educate some more characters real fast. Let's go ahead, just keep educating some characters. We have quite a bit of money, so just going to spam it over here. It's going to be exponentially more expensive, so let's just go ahead and try to do that. It's 13,000 right now, but we want to get ahead of the curve, otherwise we are going to fall behind. And a lot of these characters are not going to get the education. You can see we have almost depleted our entire economy. Just go ahead and start improving the relationships to get a little bit more gravitas. So I think we can stay around for a while, and let's try to marry off. Hold on, we had a character that was good, agriculturalist, fantastic. So we can recruit him as a admiral, and we will do so in the province of Nicomedia. And there we go, raise a fleet. Let's raise this fleet, just cross-check if he is the agriculturalist. Yes, he is. And we can even give him a personal tutor. Try to level up his abilities as well, so that's going to be very important. Meanwhile, this character over here can get married. Let's see what she has gotten. An architect, not that great, so let's just go ahead and assassinate him. And finally, we can also try to improve the authority, zeal, and cunning of some characters. So let's just go ahead, improve the zeal of that character, improve the cunning of this character, and we want to improve the authority of that character over there. And yeah, with that, we are ready to go ahead and end the turn. And I will see you all in the next turn. Alright, welcome to a couple of turns into the future. Mauryan reforms have triggered. We are moving our armies across. You can see that the Egyptians have some armies over here. We are going to go into Memphis real quick. And we are going to move the other army towards Alexandria to protect the settlements, of course. This split up Egyptian army is a little bit of good news for us, because that means we can keep pushing. So let's just push this direction, and let us just push in that direction as well. This attrition. Alright, that's fantastic. We can just go ahead and move our fleet all the way up north. Try to recruit a couple more ships. There we go. Fantastic. And in the turn, between turns, the Roman has invited us to fight a war against the Catiori. So we are going to, just march towards them. Meanwhile, we are also going to do the same and keep marching towards Cyricena. Once again, on this side, we're going to do the same, march towards Samandar. We are going to initiate our attack against, of course, the... Alright, what do we have here? Let's improve this. We can improve the Arab tradesmen as well. We are going to initiate our war against the Royal Scythians, so that's definitely a thing. Meanwhile, another character has leveled up. We can go ahead, give them that final abilities. Let's give that as well. Economy wise, we are looking quite powerful. Of course, 81,000 in Asia. So yeah, really powerful with that. Get a spy all the way over there just to get a line of sight. If they have any armies in the region, we want to make sure that we are in a position to deal with them. Meanwhile, Sparta is getting its ass beat every time by the Romans. The Romans are back towards Sparta, so it seems like Sparta's days are numbered. We can take a quick look at our politics. Education wise, who can we educate? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people we can educate, so we are falling behind, but not to worry. We are going to be focusing on trying to remedy that as quickly as possible. Let's just improve her zeal, cunning, and we can improve the authority of this character real quick. Fantastic. We can look at some of the characters, especially the single characters. If we can level them up or can get them married, that's ideal. So let's just go ahead, get them married over there. The other character over here is single as well. Can't really marry him off, so just go ahead and send that character to improve the public order in Thrace. Let's take a quick look at the cultural conversion of Thrace. It's happening, so soon enough we will be able to culturally convert Thrace. We will try to peacefully take over the settlements of Pulpudeva and Nasos from the Romans, thereby consolidating our complete control over the province of Thracia. But first we have to culturally convert the province. Speaking of cultural conversion, we are almost inching towards a cultural conversion of Mesopotamia, which is great. In the future episode, we might have to just wrap up our war with the Scythians to the north, and we might have to even attack the Atropatkan and start focusing on the east. As you can see, we've made significant gains in this episode, guys. We have conquered Phrygia, Cappadocia, Cilicia, Syria, Coele, first two provinces of Mesopotamia, Judea, Egyptos, and almost the entirety of Libya. So yeah, we're looking pretty good as far as expansion is concerned. But I am going to go ahead and end the turn, and I will see you all in the future when we are ready to attack Augila and kind of put the pressure on the Ptolemaic faction. Managed to fight this entire war against the Ptolemies without a single pitched battle, which is pretty impressive. We managed to maneuver our way around. Of course, we had that one very decisive naval victory against the Ptolemaic faction, and after having defeated their naval supremacy, we are in a position to kind of wipe them out without a single pitched battle. Alright, welcome to the next turn. This is going to be the final turn of the episode. A daughter has come of age, character trait report, accomplished in calm. Alright. And has any of our characters leveled up? We have a dignitary that's leveled up, so let's just go ahead and get them the abilities. We have managed to culturally convert, so that means it's time to move into, of course, Libya, try to culturally convert that province. The Egyptian armies have moved closer towards Jerusalem, not taking that much attrition. They still have quite a lot of supplies growing in the region, unfortunately, which means we will have a pretty solid hard time dealing with this Egyptian stack. But what we can do is we can be a little bit more aggressive. We can sort of kind of move our armies over here, move this army as well over there in that region, move this army as well over there in that region, try to move and try to isolate the Egyptians. We could move deeper towards Augila. I think that's the play. Can't yet attack the settlement, but we are close enough to attack it, and we can start to move our spies all the way back up towards the east. So let's just go ahead and do that. Fantastic. Meanwhile, this spy over here is almost done discovering the entirety of the Persian heartland, so getting a pretty good understanding of the map and what it looks like in the east. It seems the Atropatkan have grown out of control, as are the Sarmatians, but we are going to be attacking the Sarmatians soon enough. And of course, we are also going to be attacking Olbia. Just keep moving a little bit closer, and then in the next turn we can go ahead and attack the settlement of Olbia. We are going to move towards Sirasena. That's the play. Get a line of sight of what's happening over there. We can even move towards Sarmander. There we go. Fantastic. And in the next turn we can attack both of them. So I'm actually going to go ahead and end this turn. I'll see you all in the next turn. That will be the last turn, of course. We're going to upgrade all of our settlements as best as we can, especially Egyptos, focusing on industry, of course. And yeah, so with that, our economy should look very, very, very strong. Food is looking amazing, plus 53, so yeah, we are in a really powerful position. I don't think there are a lot of factions that can contend with us. The Atropatkan are, weaker than us. Roma, we're almost bridging the gap. The Mauryaans are looking pretty weak now. The Parthians, most of the factions are looking pretty weak, and that's because we have achieved quite a significant boost in this episode against the Ptolemaics and the Seleucids. Were wiped out, almost wiping out both of the Diadochi in a single episode. So yeah, we are the second powerful faction without a shred of doubt in this episode. However, with that, I'm going to go ahead, end the turn, and I will see you all in the next turn. Alright, welcome to the end turn. It seems like the Egyptians are attacking me. We are going to go ahead, quick save over here, hop into the battle, and I will see you all in the battle. Alright, welcome to the Battle of Augila. We're all the way in the west, southwest of most extent of our empire. Fighting in Libya, we have two Egyptian stacks of the Ptolemies attacking us, of course. We typically in the North Saharan, we have gone ahead and arranged our troops in our typical, kind of Roman legionary cohort formation. I kind of like that because we have quite a lot of melee infantry that are very heavily on armor piercing and have a good movement ability. Of course, they are flanked by some of our spearmen, artillery spearmen, that kind of help us, hold out the area a bit better, or the flanks. And of course on the far left and right flanks we have our cavalry, and I think for now it is our Greek citizen cavalry. Very soon we will be replacing that. Meanwhile, all the way in the back we have our Sven warriors. These guys are insane archers. They're able to fire out quite some punishment, good range, good damage, good overall. So we have a preliminary Egyptian army, smaller one, that's trying to attack us, and the goal over here is to try to crush them as quickly as possible before the reinforcement arrives. And this is a major problem with Rome 2 Total War in general, is that the reinforcement battles are just so messed up. I wish it would be that, the two armies kind of combine before the battle, and then when the battle starts, they start out as a coherent, united force, rather than the obvious stupidity that no one would do in real life, where they would have one army engage and then the reinforcements kind of trickle down. Obviously that would just completely neutralize the advantage in real life of having reinforcements in the first place. But now that the front lines have engaged and the fighting has started, of course, what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to charge with our cavalry into the rear with our Greek citizen cavalry and try to break the morale as quickly as possible. We do see a cavalry unit over here, so we are going to try to engage it, prevent it from getting involved in the battle. We have taken a little bit of casualties from that charge because of course this cavalry is pretty good on the charge. However, we are a spear shield cavalry, which means we do have a slight advantage over them that we are going to fully utilize, and you can see they're already losing decisively. Meanwhile, on the other side, our other cavalry has engaged the Peltaste, but of course due to the shrubbery over here, we have not been able to have a very decisive charge, but they are still going to lose decisively because they are a missile unit. Now apart from that, we're slowly moving up our spearmen, trying to get encircling with our spearmen, because our cavalry is otherwise engaged. So we have to really move our spearmen, try to attack so that we get a quick advantage over this preliminary force over here. Although the enemy is losing decisively, their morale is pretty high, so they are not breaking for the moment, so that is a problem. As you can see, my archers, we are redirecting them, our Swen warriors, to attack these javelin cavalry, because we don't really have an answer against javelin cavalry in our army, and the only thing we can hope for is for our missile units to eventually start dishing out some damage. And so there you have it, starting to see the first casualties, which means we have broken the preliminary armor protection of this cavalry, which means every following missile attack is going to be dishing out some serious casualties over there. And there you have it, 92, 91. They are moving, which means of course they're not going to be taking that many casualties. And now over here, I don't actively micromanage it that well, so there is a little bit of friendly fire, but already this cavalry is routing, which is good news for us. We have also managed to break the entire front line of the enemy army, and we're starting to see that the reinforcement is coming in, so we're very quickly trying to reposition all of our units and try to face the new incoming enemy army. Now the new reinforcement army is pretty stacked. As you can see, they have a lot of phalanx type units. From what I can see at a glance, they have a few phalange days as well, which are going to be the hardest things to deal with. Of course, they have that insane reach, which none of our units actually have. We do have a native unit in our roster, the Calibes pikemen, that if we do use, then we do have that reach, but of course they are so inferior in comparison to Hellenic pikes, so I didn't even bother recruiting them in this campaign because they have a very niche role, but they're not very good at it, so it makes absolutely no sense to do so. Meanwhile, quickly trying to reorganize my army, moving out our cavalry back again to the flanks in the hopes of trying to encircle this army. One thing we have in advantage over this army is that they have absolutely no cavalry, as you can see. It's mostly a lot of phalanx type units, which means once they engage our front lines, we are going to be at a disadvantage because of course they're going to have better holding and staying power, but at the same time we have advantage in our cavalry units that can perform clean rear charges against phalanx units that take extra morale penalties from being charged in the rear, from having their formation breached. So we are, despite having a disadvantage in the frontal assault, we are not wasting time. We are going to go ahead and charge along the whole frontage and try to pin down these units so that they do not maneuver out of position. And then once they are completely locked in that melee, we're going to start maneuvering our cavalry. As you can see, our cavalry's already begun their maneuvering. Meanwhile, our Calibes, champions or swordsmen over here, these guys are absolutely insane. They're beastly. We're going to go ahead and start trying to maneuver and hit the flanks of these units as well. So as you can see, that's exactly what's happening right now. We have whole front lines engaged. Of course, you can see that they have a lot more depth in their formation. We're a bit spread out, so that is a huge problem. But we are going to try to resolve that by supporting our units as quickly as possible, because it's not going to end well for us the longer we stay in this engagement. Just waiting to see what our cavalry actually does over here. We're still trying to maneuver around. Meanwhile, the cavalry on the right flank is going to try to wipe out some of their skirmisher units. We're going to get a very clean charge on the rear of this unit. And there you have it. It's a big charge over there. It's an archer unit, so they are going to get absolutely wiped out over here. They're going to drop like flies. There you have it. They're already retreating, so that's a big thing. Meanwhile, our Calibes swordsmen, they are in position to flank the enemy. There we go. We started to flank. Formation breached. We're starting to see some retreating frontline units. Our cavalry is over here, meanwhile, is going to try to wipe out all of the archers. Before we go ahead and focus on the front lines, of course, our other Calibes units, we started to identify a gap over here, which we're going to send one unit across that gap. We're going to send the other unit to encircle over there. And as such, we're going to have a big advantage over here. And actually, this unit can just charge into the back. Alright, it seems like these guys have turned around to face us, so yeah, not the best of engagements, but of course it is still worth it because we are kind of pinning down the enemy units. And as you can see, slowly but surely, our numerical superiority and our encirclement tactics working really well against the phalangitate type units. For the most part, the entire battlefield is almost entirely in our control. We just have pockets of resistance remaining on the left and right flanks respectively, and very soon we're going to be able to redirect our efforts to supporting our flanks, encircling the enemy flanks. And there you have it. Calibes units once again charge into the unshielded side of this unit. They're going to take significant damage, especially if they start doing this walking animation, because that means they're just not going to be engaged. They're just trying to reposition. But what that does is that gives us free reign for our Calibes units to basically keep pushing the offensive, keep attacking over here. We're going to see quite a lot of animation, kill animations. There we have it. Quite a lot of them being killed. And of course, they are desperately moving, and it's not going to look good for them. They're completely disorganized. Meanwhile, all the way on our right flank, you can see that we're completely encircled all of the enemy phalangites. We're managing to kind of waver them. We're going to keep pushing with our cavalry as well. And there you have it. Completely broken that right flank, which means we should have the morale advantage on this left flank. And with that, we have won the battle. And I will see you all in the campaign. And there you have it, a heroic victory. I didn't chase down the enemy. I kind of should have, but didn't want to chase them down. They're just down to about 1,700 men. We lost just 400 men, so we should be able to push them quite effectively in the next turn. And we should be able to wipe out those two armies at least in the next turn. So there you have it. Heroic victory. And we are going to enslave up all the captives, push them behind, attack the settlement of Ogila in the next turn, and take over the last settlement of the Ptolemaic faction. They're moving a little bit closer towards Petra, and that's kind of good for us because we can link up our armies. Peace treaty from the Lusitania, and they're a little bit on the back foot in that grind against the Massilians, of course, and the Massilians slowly but surely pushing into the Iberian Peninsula. The Mamlukat Naba looking to be wiped out more or less. Yeah, so once again, situation's not really that great if you have to ask me. The Atropatkan are getting a bit too powerful for my liking, and they actually have some pretty nasty units. It's not going to be easy fighting that faction, unless we're lucky like we were in the case of the Ptolemies. However, we have completed a research. We are doing our final level of construction research right now. Several characters have increased in rank. Let's just quickly improve their abilities. We can go for a lot of the abilities right there. We can even promote the character, so let's just go ahead and promote him. Fantastic. He is still a student, hoping for him to become an erudite real quick. But yeah, down south over here we can go ahead and attack. Of course the Ptolemies are going to be very close in the region. Let's just go ahead, move all the way to Jerusalem, all of our armies in Jerusalem, in and about Jerusalem, and even this army, so that it doesn't get isolated, can step out of Jerusalem. And there we have it. We're really defensive over here in Jerusalem, and we can go ahead and attack this settlement. Should be a pretty good auto resolve, considering we kind of you know, took care of those guys in the previous turn. And we are going to go ahead and sack and loot the settlement. So there you have it. What that means is that the Egyptians, they are going to be suffering from attrition, and if they do not act quickly, then they're not going to be able to take any of the settlements, and as such they are going to be completely wiped out from the campaign map. Let's just quickly try to repair this building, and can dismantle this building and just build a temple over there, since we have 2 slots over here. So yeah, that's pretty good. Let's take a look at all of our buildings real quick. We can go ahead and upgrade quite a few buildings. We're going to begin with the economic province, of course. We want to build the altar of herd, of course. We can convert this into a economic kind of a province. Make sure we upgrade all of our sanitation buildings. That is super important. So let's just improve all of them. Fantastic. All right. And then we can go ahead and improve our main settlement building. So let's convert that. All right. Perfect. 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 Alright, I think as far as buildings are concerned, we're looking pretty good. Let's take a look at marriages. We want to marry off some characters. Definitely want to keep improving the public order wherever we can. Okay, it seems fine. Political party is fairly loyal. Maybe we can start to educate some characters. A little bit difficult. We are falling behind, unfortunately. But it is what it is, I guess. And the last thing we want to do is see if we can actually attack Olbia in this turn. We can, so we're going to go ahead, attack the settlements. Pretty easy auto-resolve, don't want to be fighting this battle. We are going to sack, and we are going to loot the settlement as well. Let's just loot it. And with that, we have even reached Imperium level 6, which is fantastic. We can get 2 additional armies, which is super important. Let's just quickly turn off the taxation over here in Olbia, repair all the buildings we need, dismantle all the buildings we do not need. And our realm is starting to look a little bit nicer, like the Eastern Roman Empire, guys. Meanwhile, over here, still cultural conversion happening. We're not able to push our culture as the dominant culture. 40 as the Persian culture is slowly dropping, but not fast enough. We're going to move our one of our dignitaries over there. The other one we can deploy just over here in Paratonian, and in the hopes of taking over Kyrene from the Romans. So that looks good. Meanwhile, we can take a look at the map, and the Catiari are kind of in Dacia, so we have enough time to kind of replenish. And what that means is it's time to go ahead and attack the Royal Scythians as well. So let's just go ahead with the Romans, join the war against the Royal Scythians. It's moderate, fantastic. Now we're in a war against the Royal Scythians. Let's just go ahead, attack Saracena. Pretty not so good auto-resolve, but I am gonna auto-resolve it nonetheless, because, you know, we have a long way to march up north, and we will be able to replenish by marching up north. So let's just go ahead, give those characters all of those abilities, and want to do the same for Samander. Once again, this one is a better auto-resolve. Go ahead, we can sack, we can loot. So that's exactly what we want to do. There we go. Fantastic. Characters leveled up also. So we can go ahead, give some abilities. And there we have it. Very quickly, we want to turn off the taxation over here. We can use this as another recruitment provinces, but for now, we are going to repair all of the buildings we need and dismantle all of the buildings we do not require. So there we have it. We managed to expand just a little bit further, and we are going to cut off the Scythians over here. We're just going to make sure that we take these last two settlements of Dano Apara, and then of course we're also going to take Geros, thereby encircling the entire Black Sea region, which will be our own sea. We are in firm control of the Eastern Mediterranean as well. So yeah, all in all, a very good episode. The Parthians have managed to kind of move up northwards like this. We have no line of sight of what's going on over there. But I'm guessing in the next episode we'll focus on the Sarmatians, and then we'll turn our attention down south, because they can't have the Atropatene, can get way too powerful. I will be pushing into Mesopotamia. I will be pushing into Media and try to push into Persis as well. That will be the future of future episodes. Meanwhile, I'm guessing the Roxalana, they are at war with the Parthians. We have a non-aggression with the Parthians, so yeah, that's pretty good. That being said and done, we are done with this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, then like the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you are interested for more. Peace and love.